I was fascinated. I was flabbergasted by the results. Just a few changes, which I'm going to share with you, made all the difference. Let's talk about stress and the role stress plays in achieving your fitness goals. If you have weight loss goals, the impact stress can have on those goals. If you're in a high stress season of life, there are workouts you should lean towards and some you might want to stay away from. I'm going to give you a couple tools to make your nervous system balanced and happy. And then we're going to finish up with some workouts that I recommend if you're worried about those stress hormones like cortisol. So our body encounters many types of stressors throughout the day. And when we experience stress, our body releases cortisol and adrenaline. These are the hormones that help you respond to the situation. It's your nervous system's fight or flight. And while short-term stress is beneficial, right? We go through it all the time. Chronic stress disrupts many bodily functions, impacting your sleep, your digestion, and even fat storage. So for me, stress played a huge role in how I stopped seeing results once I turned 40. I was doing the same workouts as I did in my 30s, but all of a sudden, I was no longer seeing results. In fact, I was going in the opposite direction. I was gaining weight, I was gaining inches. I had more cellulite on my legs than I had ever seen. So I knew I had to make some adjustments to my workout routine, as well as to some of my daily stressors. I was fascinated. I was flabbergasted by the results. Just a few changes, which I'm going to share with you, made all the difference. So I made a couple changes into my daily routine, as well as several changes in my workout routine. And all of a sudden, the results started showing up again. I lost 7 inches. The cellulite started disappearing. I was able to get off of my autoimmune medication. My bowels were back on track. I had energy. I felt really good. I still feel really good, but I had to figure out why. I've studied exercise science for 20 years and I was doing all the right things. So why was it? So I put together 2 focus groups of over 900 women and we followed this same format. And in 3 weeks, 85% of those focus groups saw the same results that I was seeing. So we're going to dive into cardiovascular workouts. We're going to dive into de-stressing workouts. And then we're going to talk about strength workouts and the stress they place on your body and your hormones. So cardiovascular workouts, these are your cardio workouts like walking, running, swimming, kickboxing, and cardio HIIT. HIIT being high intensity interval training. That's where you go all out for like 30 seconds and then you recover for 30 seconds. And you do that from anywhere from like 20 to 25 minutes. Now, if you're in a high stress season of life, this is where I was, a high stress season of life. HIIT is not going to be the best type of workout for you. In fact, I completely swapped all of my HIIT cardio workouts for walking for an entire year. And like I said, I was absolutely fascinated by the results. So let's talk about why that is. The nervous system plays a crucial role in optimizing the body's response to various types of exercise. So when you come into workouts already in a state of fight or flight, that's your nervous system talking. A HIIT workout isn't usually what you need, and here's why. You've already got increased stress hormones. And high-intensity workouts increase these same stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. While it is normal, and that's how your body adapts, being consistently high or chronically high in those levels of those stress hormones without adequate recovery can really lead to negative health outcomes. It can lead to fatigue, neural fatigue, sleep disturbances, slow recovery times, all of that. Now, don't completely write HIIT off, because there are some great pros to HIIT. On the flip side, it can enhance the resilience of your nervous system, improving its ability to manage stress and recover more efficiently. So all in all, you really just have to listen to your body. Like here's where I was. I could not do another HIIT workout. I stopped looking forward to it. I was forcing myself to get into those workouts. I was completely depleted. I was chronically inflamed. I was chronically stressed. And so I completely removed them from my routine. And within weeks, I saw major results from that. So you've got to listen to your body because exercise is a stressor. It's a really good stressor. Your body adapts, it increases fitness levels, releases endorphins. It does all of these really good things, which in turn give you better sleep and better nervous system regulation. But as with anything, the problem arises when it becomes excessive, overstressed, or chronic. And that's exactly where I was. I was in a chronic state of stress and inflammation, thinking the workouts were making it better when really they were making it worse. So research suggests that you can get all of the benefits from HIIT training. And when I'm referring to HIIT, I'm referring to cardiovascular HIIT, not where we're picking up dumbbells, but where we're really working the cardiovascular system. Research suggests you can get all of the benefits from HIIT cardio in 1 to 3 sessions per week. I recommend the maximum be 2 times a week at 20 minutes each. Now, there's also another form of HIIT training called ReHIIT. This is reduced exertion, high intensity interval training. So either one, you will get the benefits of HIIT while not overtaxing and chronically stressing your system. So now let's talk about the types of exercise that actually reduce the stress in your body. This is stretching, this is breathing. And when I say breathing, I'm talking about ridiculously long, deep breaths. Just like we tell our kids to take deep breaths when they're stressed, I'm talking about those type of breaths. And walking. Oh my gosh, walking. It is an absolute game changer. So let's dive a little deeper into walking. So you may or may not have heard of zone cardio. And trust me, I don't want to overcomplicate it. It does not need to be complicated, but let's briefly talk about what zone cardio is. So zone 1, this is typically around 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. It's like a super easy leisure walk. It helps improve circulation, aids in recovery from, say, intense workouts, and overall promotes relaxation. Zone 2, when you're walking, I like to say this is between I'm walking leisurely and I'm late to pick up my kids. This is usually around 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. This zone is super effective for building aerobic endurance and improving cardiovascular health and burning fat. And anybody can do it. It is completely sustainable, right? Zone 3 and zone 4, these are your kickboxing classes or your HIIT cardio. These are a little bit higher in your maximum heart rate. So let's go back to that zone 2. This is where I want you to walk. I cannot recommend zone 2 walking enough. This is the type of exercise that is going to decrease those stress levels. This type of walking reduces levels of cortisol. Remember, cortisol is that primary stress hormone, and that helps manage stress and anxiety. Research shows that sharing exercise time between strength and zone 2 cardio is really important for longevity and fat loss. We're going to get into the strength here in a minute. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and digest part of your nervous system. So it promotes relaxation, and that reduces that fight or flight response associated with stress. It has anti-inflammatory effects. For me, I think this was one of the biggest contributors as to how I could get off of my autoimmune medication. So just how much walking should we be doing? Well, the American College of Sports Medicine recommends that you accumulate 150 minutes of walking each week. This includes a continuous walk as well as non-continuous daily steps. So if you're a numbers type of person, you don't need a Fitwatch. I recommend getting a pedometer and trying to accumulate at least 5,000 steps each day. So now we know walking has so many benefits, including de-stressing our body. A morning walk, especially in the sunshine, also provides several benefits for stress reduction and overall well-being. And I'm going to tell you why. So sunshine stimulates serotonin production, which is a neurotransmitter that regulates mood and promotes a sense of calm. It synchronizes the circadian rhythms of your body. That morning sunlight regulates your internal clock, which can also help improve your sleep. It gives you improved mental clarity and focus. It supports vitamin D production. So here's how I do it. Most mornings after the morning shuffle, say I've got my kids off to school, before I sit down at my desk, because yes, I do fitness for a living, but I sit down behind my desk a lot. Before I sit down, I take a 15-minute lap around the neighborhood. Hopefully the sun is shining, and it sets my day. So whether you work from home or you work at an office or you homeschool your kids, grab those around you because everybody will benefit from that 15-minute walk out in the sunshine. And I know I promised another de-stressing tool, and this is breathing. This is breath work. This is triggering that parasympathetic nervous system to get into that rest and digest state. and you don't have to overcomplicate it. I want you to think about taking 20 to 30 ridiculously long, deep breaths. You can do this at any point during the day, and I promise your nervous system will love you back for it. It triggers that parasympathetic nervous system, which again is that rest and digest part of your nervous system. And finally, let's talk about the best types of strength workouts if you're worried about stress hormones or chronic stress. For strength training, I usually put it in one of two buckets. In bucket number one, you've got your traditional strength training where you're using dumbbells, sliders, bands, body weight, Pilates moves, anything that provides resistance and creates strength. And then in bucket number two, you've got your strength circuit workout where you're incorporating more cardio, more plyometrics. This is also where you find like your Orange Theory classes or F45 or Brin classes. So let's talk about bucket number two first. This is your circuit type workout where you're doing a high cardio intense session. This is also the workout I used to do all through my 30s. These can interfere with the benefits of strength training due to several physiological and hormonal factors. It can trigger muscle breakdown. Again, it goes back to the elevated cortisol levels. These can counteract the effects of strength training. Your body is then competing for the recovery resources. Our bodies need recovery. In fact, this is where all of the change happens. And when you're combining both, the body prioritizes repairing endurance adaptations after cardio. So again, that's going to kind of get in the way of the benefits of strength training. It induces excessive fatigue. High intensity cardio can lead to overall fatigue, making it harder to give your best effort in the strength training portions of the workout. Now, don't get me wrong. I used to thrive. I used to love on this type of strength training, this type of circuit strength training. The problem again is when we do it chronically or too many days in a row and our body never gets the recovery. So if you do enjoy those types of workouts, I recommend just a few times a week and never 2 days in a row. Now let's talk about bucket one. This was your traditional strength training where you're doing your dumbbells, your sliders, your bands, Pilates, body weight, resistance training, but you're not incorporating plyometrics or jumping or cardio. You're keeping your strength training separate from your cardiovascular training. Now you will absolutely get cardiovascular benefits while you're strength training. There is a little bit of crossover. But how I work out, how our focus groups worked out, are keeping the strength sessions separate from the cardio sessions. Now, if you are going to incorporate HIIT cardio, remember I recommended that maximum 2 times a week, 20 minutes, I would do that after a strength session. If you're incorporating walking as your cardio, you can do that either before or after your strength session. And if you need any help from me, I would love to help you. In our studio, we strength train together and then you walk on your own. And then we have the option of those add-on HIIT cardio workouts. In the show notes below, I've included a link to our online studio for 1 free week, as well as the research and sources that I use to create this show.